Thank you. Crazy to think about it, but what we do in Term 3 is start looking towards leadership roles for 2026. And obviously we have the prefect roles for 2026, which we want to go through with you today, what those, I can still hear some people talking. We want to go through with you today what those look like, give you an idea from the students who are currently in those roles, so that if you want to apply for one of those roles, you kind of know what you're applying for. And we also want to go through the other leadership opportunities that you have as a Year 13. You may not want to be a prefect, but you may want to stand out from other people when you put your CV in and you're applying for hostels or you're applying for scholarships or something like that when you're in Year 13. And so we like to give you as much opportunity as possible to do things that you can put on your CV so you kind of get the edge over someone else if you're applying for hostels or universities or scholarships like that. So even if you're not going to be a prefect or you don't want to be a prefect, there are other leadership opportunities that we will talk about later that you can do. Just be mindful that if you, obviously the leadership camp forms have come out, if you want to go on the leadership camp but you don't want to be a prefect, that is fine. Okay, the leadership camp and the prefect roles are separate. Okay, we don't base our decision on who goes to the leadership camp, although it's a good opportunity for us to see you in a different light outside of the school. That is not how the decisions are made. So you can do one or the other. You can go to the camp and not want to be a prefect. You can be a prefect, but the camp doesn't suit you, and you don't need to worry, okay, because they don't matter in terms of having to do one to get the other. So these are the different roles that you might want to apply for, the different prefect roles. And what we are going to do is get our prefects up now just to speak to you and explain what each of the roles comprise, what they've been doing, some learnings, so that you have an understanding of, if you want to apply for one of these roles, what it looks like. So I think we're going to start with Daniel and Martina because they have to shoot off. So Daniel, do you want to come up first? Academics, Aidan and Daniel, do you guys want to start?
Kia ora, I'm Daniel and this is Charlotte, and we're the Head of Mission Outreach and Service for this year. So our role is mainly facilitating and organising service programs within the school, and one of our roles is that we also double up as a chapel prefect and a leader within the chapel portfolio as well. So
yeah, basically we sort out all the charity days and fundraisers that we do here, and like programs like Rock and St. John's and everything. So it's just making sure all that's in line, and also you don't have to be involved in the chapel sides of things if that doesn't really speak to you. If you just want to be part of the service side and outreach, then you can do that as well. But yeah, it's basically just overseeing all the service stuff we do at St. Paul's, which is a lot, like the Borders, Flame, Cambodia stuff and things like that, just making sure everything's running smoothly. So yeah.
And basically, if you're keen about service and if you've been involved in the service program for a couple of years, a long time, then this is a pretty good role for you, and you'll also get a lot of experience out of that. We are, however, I'd say more involved, and it takes a lot more time, so it is important to just manage your time wisely. But yeah.
Hey guys, so the international prefect role is mostly for international students and the council members, but also for students who have an empathy. You will work alongside Mrs. Richardson, Mrs. Hutchison and Mrs. Miller and your own council. One of the most important part of the role is to welcome new international students into St. Paul's. It is hard for them to step into a country that you don't speak the same language of. So to make them feel safe, be that initial friend that help them participate in everything the school offers, it will mean a lot to them. To achieve this, there are orientation days that are organized once before the school starts and once before term 3 starts, but depending on the amount of international students. During this day, we will show the students around the school and sit down with them to explain our school system. We will also hold weekly meetings with the selected council, planning and organizing at least one international student event each term, such as Race Relations Day, chapel service, and activities, shared lunches, games night for the international students, and the upcoming Culture Day assembly and lunchtime activities. Generally, I think this role is super fun, and you can be really creative with your approaches, as you are not limited to the activities above. There are a lot of opportunities to work with and alongside others to promote respect, equality, cultural diversity, and appreciation for it around the school. I strongly encourage you to look into this role.
Yeah, kia ora. So mainly the main things we're doing for Head of Academics, sort of heading the Academic Council, making sure all of those projects are running as smoothly as possible. So that's sort of tutoring for the younger students, setting that up so the tutors are doing their job, that sort of thing. We've also got a couple events coming up, like potentially organising quiz nights between schools, that sort of thing. And then generally, as academic prefect, you're sort of looking to, I guess, make sure everyone's in the right space heading towards benchmarks. So I think we've got an assembly booked to talk to the school about study tips, that sort of thing. But yeah, generally just go for it if you're pretty academic and interested in, I guess, seeing that side of the school go well. Yeah.
So as head of arts, I think the two main parts of the role are running the two house competitions, house singing and arts day. But the first thing we do at the start of the year is we have music month, and we work with the music department and the library for displays and activities that like students can come see and do. This year our council worked on an initiative of having staff karaoke. So that's something else we do is we have a council, have regular meetings, and then we implement initiatives that come from the council. For house choir, you get to decide the themes, make sure the rehearsals all go well, make sure that there's good communications between all the music staff and your council, and so that everything runs smoothly. And then you present on the day. As well as that Arts Day, we run and organise it. So we have lots of meetings coming up to Arts Day, and we just go around and kind of make sure everything's running smoothly. We also aid in the organising of house band and making sure that goes well. This year we've actually been asked to judge Dyer's Got Talent, so that's just something else that we've done as part of our role. And then, yeah, I guess speaking in assemblies is something as well, so you might be asked last minute to just share a message or a notice, but that's kind of it. Oh, and also making sure that everything's going well in all the co-curricular activities in kind of the art space, whether it's visual or performing. Yep.
So probably the main thing within our portfolio is probably house haka. You guys do the house haka order and you MC the competition. A couple chapels we do is Matariki and Waitangi. There's also Māori Language Week, and I guess occasionally you can lead the haka.
Yeah, so alongside all that stuff that Lakin just said, we also, you've just got to know your mihi and have it on standby for sometimes Mr. Hardman or Mr. Skeen will ask you if you can welcome people in. Sometimes it's guests from, we had a couple MPs come in last term, so Sometimes you'll be required to, come in and greet them and welcome them, and then just speaking in chapel, just some of the stuff that the other prefects do. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. It's what you see. So.
So head of sports, a pretty cruisy role. You do it's just as much as you make it, so you can obviously make new initiatives like we have this year with like the Year 9 games, and then it's also just promoting sport within the school, like going to other first like big matches like hockey game or something like that. So yeah, it's pretty good, and you just work quite closely with Mr. Emsley on the sport going on in the school.
Yeah, and basically promoting participation in like a good sports culture throughout the school, and like organising exchanges and house competitions like athletics, cross country and swimming sports, like that type of stuff. Oh yeah, and staff versus prefect games, just basically anything sports related around the school, you're basically involved in it, and yeah, that's us.
Hi guys, so head of house is just organising the house competitions and stuff, making sure the house is in check and the Year 9s and stuff are enjoying their time at St. Paul's. So just making sure the house competitions are going well and organising behind the scenes and stuff.
Yeah, so like Max said, there's a lot of behind the scenes things you have to do in terms of trying to organise everything to make everyone in your house happy and doing what they want. But it is a really rewarding role. But when things don't go so well in the house, it can be pretty rough too.
I think a massive thing with being a head of house is you need to have really good time management, especially in the first 2 terms. We're like super busy with house competitions and juggling that with sports and your internals and stuff. It can get super hectic. So you need to have a good relationship with your partner. I've been lucky with George. He's probably the most organised boy I've ever come across. But yeah, and with the, this is more directed at the female head of house, but in a lot of situations you might be talking in front of a big group of boys that you don't really know, and it can be, quite out of your comfort zone. So you need to be kind of comfortable with being out of your comfort zone and being able to put yourself out there.
So basically being a head of house of boarding is basically doing all those things, but you do like all the after prep stuff, like doing haka and choir and stuff. You have to figure out timings with after prep and basically figure that out with the other head of your house. And there's also a lot, I know, like some of the boys at the moment, like head of Clark, Emery is making like planning like a dessert night for the Year 13s. Like you just got to do like little things like that as well on top of like all the house competitions and everything. But yeah, so it's a lot of time management, and you do have to talk in front of people a lot. So, but yeah, no, it's good. It's really good.
Head of Harrington House is obviously a bit different for the girls, but pretty much it's a super flexible position, so it's honestly what you make of it. So you got lots of cool opportunities to have some fun initiatives with the girls, and the main things you have to do are obviously the chapel service, the night service, the end of year dinner, and it's just a super big, like the start of the year, welcoming all the new girls, making sure they all feel welcome, and yeah.
So head of boarding, yeah, pretty cool role. Good chance to give back to boarding community, especially if you've been here since Year 9. One of the main motives why I want to do it. So you work closely with the other head of boarding, Rosie, which kind of is like the girl side stuff, but get a chance to build a boarding committee, which is kind of the voice of boarding into the school and stuff. Really big stuff for head boardings like the charity relay, which is the main thing for you. And then also you get to work with Chef Warner, talk about the food and stuff and just general boarding life, which is, yeah, pretty cool.
For the more girls' side of things, it's basically just being best friends with Miss Locke. You want to really work closely with her a lot and just making sure that all the girls are happy in boarding. Especially it'll be a lot bigger next year, having Year 9s. Just a lot of younger faces, just making sure that they're happy and feel like they belong.
Yeah, hey guys, deputy heads. Well, what we do is a lot of like public speaking and a lot of just like random jobs and organizing different events and stuff. And it is a lot like the other roles. It is what you make it. So if you have ideas or initiatives that you want to put across or like try ask to bring them to light, then you have the opportunity to do that. You kind of just got to be ready for anything that gets chucked at you, or just like be ready to step up and go to things. And it's a good role, and I definitely would recommend it.
One of the things that you'll be doing if you're deputy head and also the head roles is a meeting every week with Mr. Skeen. So we work with him and the senior leadership team to sort of organise events. Some of our biggest events like the junior social and Valentine's Day and different events and initiatives that you can bring in too. So yeah, as Will said, it's really what you make of it. One other thing that we're involved with, and this is new this year, but that's also leading the Environmental Council. So if that's continued next year, you get a council committee, and then you guys plan stuff. So we've done like improving recycling systems and a like meet and greet group for sort of inclusivity. But yeah, it's really what you make of it.
Yeah, pretty similar to deputy prefects in terms of the what you do side of things. Like for example, Georgia and I will help run prefect meetings, so it's kind of just organising things behind the scenes for the prefect group. So yeah, running prefect meetings, organising the duty roster, like for dining hall duty, which prefects do. And a really cool part, which I really enjoyed, is organising the events, like Annie said. So like events for like the students of the school as well. So obviously Valentine's Day with Dio, and also the junior social was a really fun one. Like you're getting to interact with a lot of the juniors as well. Like having these year 9 boys from your house in the junior social, I remember it was really funny how they come up to you and show you how they got a girl's like snap on their arm. And then another boy would come up and you realize it's the same snap, and then so on and so on. But you don't tell them that type of stuff. But yeah, overall it's a really rewarding experience, and this goes for all prefect roles. You're a role model for the juniors, like I said. They look up to you, they want to talk to you, and it's really cool to be able to support them, encourage them, and see their confidence grow on that side of things. So yeah.
As head girl, you're really busy. You work alongside Roy, Annie and Will, your deputy prefects, and all the other prefects. But basically your role is using lots of initiatives. You're in charge of making sure that all the portfolios are doing stuff and getting involved with them. A big part of it is just being a leader every day also. You're kind of the face of the school, so you're involved in lots of events. You're always speaking, always meeting new people. Another thing is you are a big face for the junior students as well. They come up to you asking lots of questions, and you're always talking and involved with them, which is really nice. But yeah, it basically is a big role. It's hard as well, especially being a boarder. You do have to take into the fact that you're away from your family, so you have to take care of yourself well. Not getting sick and stuff, and being at school, being present is a big thing. But yeah, it's a really cool role, and you get to bring in lots of new initiatives, and I've learnt lots this year. And it's a really cool way to give back to the school because they give you so much. But yeah, basically any prefect role is a big commitment, and you have to be aware of that, and you have to be passionate and wanting to give back, because you can get away with not doing much in your role, but you want to make the most of it. And also another thing, leadership camp. It's a really cool opportunity, but also don't stress if you're not there. Like Miss Miller said, I know I wasn't at leadership camp and some of the other prefects, so if their school thinks you should be a prefect, they know whether, if not, you're a leadership camp or not. But yeah.
And yeah, if you guys, anyone has any questions about any roles, just feel free to come talk to us. Any of the prefect roles you're interested in.
A huge thank you to the prefects. Hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of what some of the prefects have been doing this year behind the scenes. It is a big role. There are big expectations on you as a prefect, but if you have got any further questions about a specific role, please feel free to talk to our prefects and get some more information so that you know if you want to be a prefect or not. There are other leadership roles, so if you think, actually, I don't want to be front and centre, that's not me, but I do want to do some leadership in the school next year, which as Year 13s, we do expect all of you to step up. You'll be young adults next year, so you'll be helping shape the school for the year. So there are different councils that you can join. You boys at the front can stay behind at the end of this. There are different councils that you can join. So there on the board, there's academic, arts, Takaya, environment, boarding, international, sports and chapel. So you might want to just be a council member and do some of the mahi behind the scenes, so you can do that. Council roles won't get appointed until next year, once all the prefects have been selected. So that is an opportunity for you for next year. You'll also, within your houses, your housemasters will all have a whole lot of different leadership roles that you can do in the house as well, so you might want to put your hand up for that. Obviously, if you are in sports or arts and you want to be a captain, there are leadership roles in that area as well. The library, if you want to lead in the library, Miss Serena has a lot of opportunities within the library, or maybe the May Ball is your thing and you really love organising the May Ball. You're generally not a prefect if you organise the May Ball, so maybe that's your thing, and Mrs. Locke and Mr. Wilson will select those people who help next year. So those are further opportunities for you. Before I go through the process for the prefect selection, Mr. Hardman, do you want to say anything to the Year 12s? Thank you, Mr. Hudman. And I guess the one thing that the prefects have all done this year that they haven't put as part of their roles is that they do prefect duties. So you'll see them in the lunch line, you'll see them outside chapel, you'll see them around the school. That's just another expectation of a prefect. So it is high expectations if you decide to step into the role. So the process for prefect selection starts this term. And so next week what we will do is we will send out a Google form and just ask that if you are interested in a role, then you fill the form in and you say what role or what roles that you are interested in for 2026. So this week is a good week to ask questions, make sure that it is something that you want to do, to find out what roles you think you'll be suited in. In your houses, if you decide that you'd like to be a house leader, we let the house staff know, and the house staff will then ask you to do a presentation to your house. And we do that to make it fair so that you get to stand up in front of your house and say what you will bring as a house leader and why you would like the role. And then in week 5, we do get the whole school to vote. So that includes the juniors. They don't vote into positions. They just give us their top, their top candidates that they think would like to be a prefect, because they'll know some names, but they won't really know a lot about you. Some of you, they might, if you've been doing peer support or helping with sports. And then the staff and obviously the seniors vote as well. And the seniors vote into position. So you say who you would like to see as your head student, who you would like to see as head of academics, etc. After that, there's a whole lot of discussions that take place behind the scenes. We look at reports, we look at attendance, we look at effort and engagement at school life before we make any further decisions. Oops, go back one. Then in week 9, if we have got a group who we think would be great for the head roles, so that's your head student and deputy head student, Mr. Hardman and I will normally take you out for a lunch or for a breakfast, just so that we can see what you like and what you interact with together. And if you are going for that role as well, you also have to go through an interview process with the senior leadership team. So that can be quite daunting, but talk to Annie, talk to Will, talk to Georgia or Roy about what that's like. They can give you some insight about that. And then the decisions are made just before Labour weekend. And we do that so that if you really wanted a role and you do miss out, you have the weekend to kind of reflect and decide what your year might look like for year 13, because you definitely, like Mr. Hardman said, don't have to be a prefect to be recognised as a leader in the school. In fact, if you do amazing stuff as a year 13 and you're not a prefect, you kind of stand out even more. So although it can be disappointing, there's heaps of opportunities if you want to lead in year 13. In week 8, you will have a handover. So our current prefects will give you a bit of a handover, give you some insights, and you'll get to share a meal together. And then in term 1 of the following year is when we commission you in as new prefects. So just some points to note. Leadership Camp isn't compulsory for the role, but it is a good opportunity for anyone who wants to gain leadership skills. There's some good presenters and some really good activities happening. So although not compulsory for a prefect role, it is a good opportunity if you're interested in terms of gaining leadership skills. All houses will have a deputy house leader as well, and that is done in the houses, selected in the houses. Some portfolios will have council, so you have an opportunity to also be on a council. If you are a prefect, you are required at the Year 9 orientation day, so Year 9s come in a little bit earlier next year. We also have the females coming in, so it's a really big day, so you will be required to come and help on that day. And once the prefects are announced, unless someone like Mr. Hardman had someone leave school when he was at school, those are the prefects for the year. There's no further prefects announced at a later stage. So I think that sums up the process. I will share these slides with you. Have a really good think, ask questions, talk to the prefects. You're welcome to talk to myself or Mr. Hardman if you've got any questions. And then next week, we will send out a form asking if any of you are interested in any of the roles. Sound okay? Let's give our prefects another show of appreciation for talking to us. Right, aside from this group of boys here, the rest of you may head out to lunch. Have a good day.